You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Summer's the best time to run the way you want. Dial it up with new challenges and programs and bring your workouts with you to make the most of outside sunny days. There's no better way to do that than with Peloton. With Peloton, take advantage of how beautiful it is outside right now. You can go on an outdoor run or even a walk if you're not feeling like running, all while working on your tan. Summer's the best time to push your pace. Move how you want, enhance your fitness journey, and feel like your most empowered self. Whether you're prepping for a marathon or improving your pace, whatever road lies ahead, your training starts here with Peloton Tread or Tread Plus. Peloton's programs and instructors take you to new heights. Tap into their expertly programmed workouts and real-time metrics like pace targets that can take your fitness journey to new heights. From their strength classes designed for runners on the Peloton Tread or Tread Plus to guided outdoor runs on the Peloton app, Peloton's classes challenge you to be your best. Call yourself a runner with Peloton at onepeloton.com/running.
Chris Cote, Stugotz, is having some trouble keeping up with the day's news because he was just trying to inform me of Jeff Darlington reporting that Flores had texted Tua a bunch that he sucked and he thought it was breaking news. And I looked at him and I said, no, that's from yesterday. That was Darlington who was on yesterday. The news, the amount of attention this has gotten has surprised me. We were sitting in the same place. I know it's a slow time. People want their football, and I know it's unusual for an active player to publicly take out an active coach of any sort. But I've still been surprised that it's been 3 days in the national news stream, this story.
It's the weird story where I'm seeing a lot of people just super interested in it, and then the farther, like the Joe Roses of the world just being like, why are we talking about this still? So it's like a weird juxtaposition.
But it's also, and I mean, I don't know, we'll get to Juju here in a second. I don't know how it is that you feel about this, but there's some lightning rod stuff here. The Brian Flores name is a regional name. He had his big job in Miami. The reason it's known nationally is, wait a minute, a head coach sued the NFL about what? And so now you've got a lot of people taking sides on, oh, look at this tearing down of the black man who's a head coach. Look at how he hangs on to the fringes of the league, kept alive by Mike Tomlin, blackest coach in the league, blackest staff in the league, I should say, because he's got a bunch of power in Pittsburgh and a real stability in Pittsburgh. But there are people taking sides on this in a way that I find kind of unusual, that it would sustain for 3 days like this.
Dan, in a strange way, it's not apples to apples, but it reminds me a lot of what happened in the NBA with Adrian Griffin, who was also replaced by another black head coach in Doc Rivers. But a lot of people look at Brian Flores' record and comparing it with the Dolphins' record has been since he left, and it's kind of comparable. They really haven't achieved anything that Brian Flores did not achieve, and so they use that as kind of proof that, well, he got the raw deal here. And what Tua's telling us is kind of like what we heard about Adrian Griffin. Is like, yeah, I know what the results were, but the way this sausage was made was not palatable and did not kind of indicate that this is going to go to a more positive place moving forward.
Brian Flores did not deserve to be fired based on what he was given and the results he produced off of what he was given.
Right.
And so to see him hanging on to the fringes of the league and needing the support of Vikings teammates because he's gotten a job outside of Pittsburgh, outside of the comfort of Tomlin security, it is him fighting to stay in the league by handling yesterday the way he handled it.
But you see what I'm saying in that Brian Flores, if you just look at, like I said, what he was, like you said, what he was given, what he achieved, man, that seems to be a pretty decent coaching job that he did. But when you hear Tua talk about how this guy coached me, you begin to realize, oh, results be damned. This guy was kind of debilitating towards what we're trying to build here around this particular player. And that's the part that sometimes gets lost in some of this stuff is, yeah, sometimes it's not a results business. Sometimes it is based off your process.
Juju, can you explain to me whether or not people are thinking that we're talking about this stuff too much? Because we are 3 days in on it right now, and it is a slower time. So I imagine the complaints would be coming in right about now.
Cafecito Crew Gaming says, Brian Flores is that a-hole chef from The Bear who even said you're welcome after he got confronted about abuse. So no, they're wide awake. They're the fans of the show, the listeners of the show. They are locked into this. I'm locked into this because this is a major story. I don't think anyone has grown tired other than the haters who already just be hating on life.
And by the way, to back up what Juju's saying, I don't even know if they're haters because I think most people are finding and discovering this. My barber talked about it yesterday. And he never talks about anything we ever do on this show. But he was like, yeah, I saw your boy Batard with Tua. And I'm like, oh, damn, it cut through that
Well,
deep.
you know what it reminds me of, actually? When one of these issues in sports can go and make its way into parenting, into teaching, it reminded me, honestly, of when we had the Dolphin story of Bullygate, and everybody was like, what do you mean an offensive lineman bullied another offensive lineman? They're both 300-pound people. A lot of people are using this as a jumping off point on what's the better way to treat people if you're trying to teach them? Fear, respect, or love? Like, people are talking about what's the proper way to reach someone, and when you've seen the results change so much with Tua's assigning it to somebody believing in him, and many people can now argue, well, it's Tyreek Hill, it's system, it's not that people believe in him, it's that they've done a bunch of different things to build around him, and part of it is the belief.
Did you guys think when you guys sat down doing this?
Awkwardly sat down right next to him. Yeah. Go on.
Did you think, oh, this is going to be really big locally, but it won't have waves outside of?
Me and Stugotz were looking at each other throughout that interview like, holy crap, this is going to be good.
Really?
I wasn't like that. I just said that last answer, when I left, I said that last answer is going to make some noise, but I didn't think it would make the noise that it has made. I'm watching on my televisions here. We're 3 days in, and we held that 4 or 5 days. It's on every show.
Yeah.
Every show is talking about this, and I did not have it being all of that, at least in part because it was pretty common knowledge in that locker room. Juju, what else are people saying we got right and got wrong today?
Warden Gotti from YouTube says Samson on his own is great, but Samson and his appearances on the show is just legendary stuff. David Samson be coming on and he be siding with the management, of course, but he does speak for a large piece of the audience out there. A lot of people were agreeing with him and his takes about how Flores is, I guess, lucky to have a job and just thank his lucky stars, ... A lot of people agree with that sentiment.
For real?
Yes, this is America.
Well, and you generally can't sue your employer, then keep being employed. That's not something that happens very often.
He's not. The NFL is not his employer. I mean, the NFL is the structure with which, his employment is occurring, but he does not work for the NFL. He works for the Minnesota Vikings.
Understood, but he needed the lifeline of Mike Tomlin. Like, the thing that can happen with these circumstances is your talent doesn't reach up to the place where offending the customer is something, or the employer is something that gets Colin Kaepernick banned from the league for something that isn't any kind of crime, because nobody's willing to take a chance on somebody anymore. Like, Mike Tomlin really did Brian Flores a favor there.
No, a huge favor.
Right.
He saved his career, you could say. He made him. He took the radioactiveness off of him.
Juju, what else are people saying today outside of this subject, or is it all this subject related?
No, absolutely not. Sean G, Alan, Jeanette, who else is this? Hunter Terrestrial, and Never Daunted Radio Network says they absolutely love the rejoins. Oh, we had the rejoin come back today. People are loving it. The chat lit up when the rejoin came back. I know it seems small to y'all, but to us, that thing sound good, man.
There's going to be more of that. That's a Chris Cote idea there. He executed that today. He's bringing those back to tickle us, really. He's trying very hard to tickle us and bring us back to our familiar environments. Amin, you were saying?
No, I was just saying that the radioactivity was removed.
Oh, my fault. I saw eye contact from you that suggested you wanted to speak. I didn't think that you hadn't finished your previous thought.
No.
It seemed like you wanted to get in there.
Yeah.
Also, before we move on, I want to give our brother Chris Cote a round of applause, bro. Like, people don't understand. Chris went from coming to work every day and just being able to be a jokester and having a great time. Now, Chris Cote got to come to work and be in charge, have stuff to worry about. He got people in his ear. He see the video messing up, but they ain't talking. You know how stressful that is? Like, bro, I commend you, brother. Like, no matter what people say or what, I don't give a damn. I'm riding for you. I got your back, bro. Good job, man.
I appreciate it, dude.
Play with them drawstrings.
Always positive, Juju. You can't put a positive on him playing with the drawstrings in the middle of the couch during the Tua interview, not knowing what to do with his hands. You can't. And you had people coming out of the shadows to pull his shirt away from his belly.
Come on, take the picture down. Take the picture down now. Get it out of here. Also, shouts out to Keep It Fair. Snugs86 from Instagram, a.k.a. Victor Murillo, says, thank you guys for less Juju this week.
Oh, no.
Salute.
Screw that guy.
Boo.
Tweeting, not you.
The people, everybody's opinion matters.
No, that
Salute.
opinion does not matter. In fact.
Yep. We've got a penalty, 5 minutes. Major asshole.
For Snugs or Snugs, whatever.